They are no longer a high competitive team in the Western Conference. That was proven, and I think that is still the case.
The Warriors aren't supposed to be here. ESPN predicted the Warriors to be the 8th best team in the Western Conference. Bleacher Report questioned the ability to contend without Klay.
But I was there in person in this year's training camp, and I said this.
It's the end of the shoot-around, right? It's the end of the individual workouts. A lot of it at the end right now is just catch and shoots. I'm wondering if the Warriors are trying to go back to that old style with all their ball movement.
And before the start of this season, I said this.
And figuring out the 3 pieces of the Warriors' new plan in person that makes them a championship contender. I knew this Warriors team was special in the same way 2022 was special. And it all stems from one brilliant move. Something that everyone on the Warriors said in that training camp.
Because the world was wrong. So wrong.
Here we are, halfway through a season, and the Warriors are not just surviving, they're thriving. They're the #1 team in the Western Conference, being the former champion Celtics, and I want to break down the critical changes the Warriors made. Show you guys more of the behind the scenes of the Warriors prep before their perfect preseason that led to their hot start in this season, and illuminate the one genius move every team should learn. Starting with this.
Damn!
No, not this. Although that's pretty wild. No, I'm talking about this.
I'm not playing around and keeping anything from you guys. I am legitimately trying to figure out who our starting group will be.
This is something that was said throughout training camp every single day. Reporters kept badgering Kerr, and he had the same response. But on the last day of training camp, we were treated to something special. We weren't allowed to record, but we got to see the Warriors run scrimmages testing out multiple lineups, and their lineups were all over the place. And that should have signaled to everyone a masterclass that we were going to see. But we have to understand the individual components first, because it was training camp. It was the first time we got to see players and their offseason adjustments, and I said this.
Looney looks real skinny, man.
Even Kerr said players came in shape, ready to move. And when I asked which drill has helped players the most to the players, Trace Jackson-Davis said this.
What is the one drill you swear has helped you the most in your game?
One drill.
Yeah.
I would say, honestly, just our transition drill. Especially at the beginning of the year, we did it a lot just to hone in on the offense and know key terminology and plays. So I would say the transition drills that we do.
And immediately, I knew their game plan. Run and run a lot. And they have. 5th in fast break points versus 16th last year, but it wasn't as simple as that. And if you're enjoying the content, if you're enjoying the behind the scenes looks, subscribe for more, or at least help me get more access so I can give y'all more content, because I want to bring y'all with me. This plan could only happen if their defense created opportunities and the Warriors had enough players that could capitalize on those opportunities. Steph has been good, but not great this season, and honestly, he hasn't needed to be, only averaging 24 points a game, but on 49, 45, 95 splits, and the reason he hasn't needed to be great, entered the offseason additions Buddy Hield, Kyle Anderson, and DeAnthony Melton. 3 guys that have completely reverted the Warriors. This style isn't anything new, and we'll get to Kyle Anderson and Melton's unquantifiable impact on the Warriors, but I want to talk about the player who Steph Curry called a game changer, Buddy Hield.
There's a lot to the changes the Warriors made, and now that we have enough games of a sample size, I can finally now break it down.
What is up, dudes, that's ballers, players? It's your boy MJ.
Happy Thanksgiving. I'm really grateful to still be here and have this channel after we got hacked earlier this year, so thank y'all for the continued support.
Yeah, Curry said Buddy's ability to shoot from deep has opened up the floor for everyone, and I knew it since training camp. I saw 3 things from Buddy Hield. 1, he was one of the hardest workers in training camp, staying behind after everyone left. 2, he was extremely excited to be part of the Warriors and already comfortable in training camp. And 3, he was trying to change something in his shot based on what Curry was saying.
You said you like watching Steph practice. What's one move you're trying to steal from him?
It's not like you can't steal. He moves different. You know?
Yeah.
The great ones, they just have it get low on screens and see how I can be effective and help myself with my shot too. You got a high arcing shot. I'm trying to And like, they keep talking like my shot is so flat. So I said, I shoot 40 my whole career, but I'm working on keeping it up high though. Might get a higher percentage.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, a career 40% three-point shooter was seriously thinking about changing his shot to have a higher arc.
End of practice, we forgot shoes here, and he was here. 20 minutes after everyone, the only person in the gym training. So I'm excited to see what Buddy does. All I can say is if he does well, I know where it's coming from. It's hard work.
And if you know ball, then you understand that certain pieces have better synergy than just on paper. That certain matchups and positions bring the most out of players. Literally, if you know that, why not build your own lineups and try to grab Sorar's $100,000 in cash prizes for the NBA tournament? And, oh yeah, play for free, which is the main reason I decided to work with them. And they also got a way to win a VIP trip to Vegas for the semis and finals. Sorare's on one like the Warriors. Sorare is a unique way to play daily fantasy by collecting cards and building lineups. They give you free cards for signing up, and you can use those cards to make lineups. How players perform in real life is how your cards perform. They are going all out for the in-season tournament. Competitions every Tuesday and Friday from November 12th through December 3rd, and free daily contests rewarding cash. And if you buy a card on NBA Cup nights, it makes you eligible to win a trip to Vegas for the NBA Cup. VIP access, photos. I'm definitely eyeing Buddy Hield. Brother is shooting 45% from three? So show that you know ball by cashing in on Sorare's $100,000 in prize. Sign up for free using my link in the description, and I'm excited to see what this community can do. Buddy is averaging 16 points on a career high 44.1% from three. And yes, that's largely because he's no longer the best shooter on the floor anymore. On his previous teams, when Buddy stepped on the floor, he was the best shooter on his team. On the Kings, in Indiana, Sixers, and so on the perimeter in any action, the defense was trying to keep an eye on Buddy, especially if he was one pass away. But Steph's on the floor now, meaning even if Buddy is one pass away, they leave him a bit more open, like right here. After a pass to Curry, Buddy just hangs out in this area 4 feet away, and a defender moves the slightest off Buddy, and now he's late to close out, and it's over. But it's also because of those three factors. He was highly motivated to prove everyone that he deserved to be on the floor in the playoffs, as he should have been. But Hield was also just in good spirits with his teammates, singing out loud, vibing. The whole team was, and we'll get to that. But did Buddy really change his shot? Thinking basketball saw that Buddy might have quickened his release even more from previous years, from 0.68 to now half a second. Damn. But what about the arc? Let's put it side by side. And yeah, he did change it. In a similar angle on the opposite side, the ball does seem to be a bit higher than before, going above the backboard. And the more I look at the footage, the more I see Buddy having a higher arc in the same shots compared to last season. Having a higher arc doesn't necessarily mean you'll make more if you ruin the shot in the process, but Buddy's figured it out. Quicker release, better launch angle, and so he's filled Klay's gap efficiently, having gravity of his own. Yet the Warriors wouldn't be this good without vastly improving their defense. We saw it against the Celtics with Moody, Gary Payne, everyone blitzing the Jason Tatum pick and roll. Last season, they were 15th in defense at 115.2 defensive rating. This year, they are 4th at 106.2. Every time they have won a championship, they've been at least 11th in defensive rating. In 2022, they were 1st at 106.9, same in 2014-15, and DeAnthony Melton and Kyle Anderson have allowed the Warriors to play their old style. Small ball, aggressive, switching. Then add Draymond, who is the defensive savant, Andrew Wiggins, who can guard 1 through 4, and, well, you get multiple lineups with at least 2 defenders that can switch onto almost anyone and cover mistakes. And, oh yeah, small ball is back with a vengeance. But this resurgence in defense is also in part due to Jerry Stackhouse, who I specifically said this about in the preseason. What I really got to see was Stackhouse's impact. Now, Stackhouse's Stackhouse is more than just that really good My Team card 2K releases every year in the beginning when you want MJ but can't get him.
Come on, man.
He's a two-time All-Star, averaged 29.8 points a game in 2001, a certified bucket. And I saw him be extremely vocal with the players during the preseason game. Steph and Stack were constantly talking on the bench, and it really felt like he had the respect of the entire roster. And man, does it seem like he has the players motivated. Draymond Green called it Stackhouse's new rules and said he's given guys a level of confidence on a defensive end that we haven't had, but more importantly, a level of accountability that we haven't had over the last couple of years. The Warriors are first in points allowed per transition possession, meaning, yeah, they're stopping the fast break, one of Stackhouse's focuses. It's at 0.87. Last year, they were 24th in the league. Players have bought in, and the new pieces have been a big part of that.
And shout out to Melton.
Man was just jovial when I asked him a couple of questions, really lighthearted, and focused on hooping. He's one of those players that can guard every position, almost.
Like my skill set translates to a lot of different ways, so I think using me in different, ways is important.
Small ball 5?
Nah, that's too. No. That's too small. That's too small. I'll go to that 4 though, but.
Hope you have a speedy recovery. Even supposed subpar defenders are holding their weight. The Warriors are at their best not when their offense is killing it, but when their defense allows their offense to play through mistakes and eventually get on fire. In fact, the Warriors were 17th in offensive rating in 2022, top 3 in the other championship years, and this year they are 6th. Something that proves their offense is back to their normal selves.
But none of this would be happening if the current Warriors weren't gelling. A large part of the Warriors' success is quite literally what I like to call vibes.
In an offense where several players need to move a shit ton off of several off-ball screens, reacting to what Curry is doing on the fly, handoffs, cuts, you almost need a sixth sense. The older Warriors teams in 2015 and 2016 had that. All the pieces just knew where to be, kept moving, back cutting, and everyone was happy with their role. You remember strength in numbers? That slogan originated from Steve Kerr in the 2014-15 season, his first time coaching, and his philosophy was simple. Every player had an important role to the team, and so there was a balance in scoring and touches. They were first in assists per game. Mid-range demon Sean Livingston would have his moments. Harrison Barnes was in the corner like a prostitute. Andre Iguodala was a Swiss Army knife. There was a selfishness that we have now become accustomed to with the Warriors, where at least from the outside, it looked like they were having so much fun. That wasn't the case last year. The tension was palatable. Klay's impending free agency, the Warriors not knowing their future. Several reporters who covered the Warriors told me in training camp that last year, Klay just wasn't happy, and that spread to the rest of the locker room. Players didn't want to talk to the media, which was understandable, but even players had less interactions with each other in the locker room. This year, it's a 180. At training camp, everyone was laughing, cracking jokes, just vibing. So we've already discussed the 2 changes to their game plan that allowed the Warriors to thrive almost immediately with their new pieces. But strength in numbers is back. When Steve Kerr didn't know what lineups to run in training camp, his solution was actually pretty simple. It was just say yes. Yeah, with the pieces he has, with questions on who would start shooting guard, one thing was clear. Nearly every player on this team could dribble at nearly every position. Of course, you have Curry, B-Pods, and Moody, but Wiggins, Draymond, Kyle Anderson, Kuminga, Buddy Hield, Anthony Melton, they could all initiate the offense from the top of the key. And so the actual one move that saved the Warriors was this.
I've never played 12 before, but we're going to do it.
Yup. A 12-man rotation. The benefits are clear, but let's start with why Tim Legler said it's not sustainable for a season.
Eventually, this rotation will shrink down to normal numbers because you just can't play that many guys because there's too many guys that are not going to be in rhythm because they're not going to know from night to night exactly how it's going to go for them.
He's kinda right. It's a lot to build chemistry with 2 or 3 extra lineups per night, and players have to learn to play with a lot of different tendencies. But here we are, there are 12 players averaging over 15 minutes a game on the Warriors, and that's not including Melton, who got hurt. But here's the benefit. Each player knows that they are getting an opportunity, that if they play the right way and help the team, they will be on the floor. It's reset Warriors culture away from the Jordan Poole punch, the Draymond kicking, Klay breaking. The past 2 years have been a lot. And if every player has bought in, then that's difficult for other teams to adjust because there's so many variations, some individual styles of players to defend, and it shows. When Draymond Green is off the floor, they use Kyle Anderson in those same dribble handoff actions or holding a ball in the post area while there's off-ball screens. And let's not forget Lindy Waters, who is the perfect example of how the Warriors let players carve a role for themselves. Beginning of the season, Lindy was not on the radar, but in training camp and ever since that first preseason game where he hit a game winner, Lindy is there to shoot threes and provide aggressive defense. And now he's one of the players getting over 15 minutes a game. The Warriors averaged the most bench points per game, 52.7. Second place is at 47, and third is at 40.2.
This is an exciting team to watch, man. And I think it's beautiful to see what this style of a team can do.
The only notification rush out goes to Emmanuel Rocks. Appreciate you.
And if you want to know about the last quiet video you'll ever need to see, there's a video right here. See you next week at the minimum. We out and we vibe.